Do it right now. Subscribe for more Raiders mock drafts. This is my second edition of 2023. I try to give you a new one every 2 weeks when we get new information, like if the Raiders trade for Aaron Rodgers, once they cut Derek Carr. I'm going to be doing tons and tons of mocks, so hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss it. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and we got a brand new mock draft to give you here today. What I ended up doing is I ran a simulation on Pro Football Network. These are the guys that you should use, and I did not do trades, plus I took Stroud at number 7. Let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of rumors around Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers. I ran this mock draft simulation like the Raiders cut DC, that they didn't trade for Aaron Rodgers, and Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels had their eyes set on Stroud. Now, I will admit, I ran this simulation 10 times to just try to figure out how likely it would be that Stroud would be available at number 7. Well, he was available at 7 only 2 times, 20%. Not the best odds out there if you are hoping to get the Ohio State quarterback. Now, in terms of the mock that I ran here, these are the top 6 picks. Jalen Carter, Bryce Young, Will Anderson, top 3. I was really surprised to see Indy take Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC. Will Levis went off the board at number 5, and then Myles Murphy goes there at number 6. In terms of the Raiders' 2023 draft picks, shout out to PFN because they have already inputted the comp picks that the Raiders are going to get. And so some of the numbers that you see are going to be a little bit different from what is actually listed. The top 3 rounds, they're locked and loaded. All the other picks, though, those are the ones that are changing, and then those are the ones that I made here in this mock draft. So, like I already said, I took C.J. Stroud at number 1. He's got the size, the arm strength, accuracy. He has all the intangibles that you're looking for in terms of being a quarterback worth taking in the top 10. He is a pocket passer. He does have good athletic ability. He struggles getting outside the pocket, so if you get Stroud, you better damn well have a good offensive line. So in terms of 6'3", 220 pounds, he's the second best quarterback, I believe, in this draft. I have been saying for a long time that I was told by a source that Dave Ziegler likes Stroud. Josh Jacobs at the Pro Bowl said that the Raiders are looking at 3 QBs. I believe if you miss out on Aaron Rodgers, hopefully you stay away from Jimmy Garoppolo. C.J. Stroud is your man. So be the GM here. Be Dave Ziegler. Do you want the Raiders to draft Stroud at number 7? Give me a Y for yes. Type N for no. With a 20% hit rate, there is a chance that you might have to trade up in order to get him. We're going to make this the pinned comment on today's show, so give me a Y for yes or type your N for no. Let's go to round 2 now, pick number 38. Since I went offense, I was really looking to go defense, and a lot of times some of y'all are like, well, Mitch, who exactly are you going to go for? I went with the best player on the board, and even though linebacker is a position that I do think is replaceable, I love Drew Sanders. He is the best linebacker in the country. He's the best linebacker entering the NFL draft this year. Awesome versatility. We know the Raiders love versatility. He has the ability to get after the quarterback in terms of being a pass rusher. He also has the ability to play a little bit back in coverage. I do think he's a middle linebacker, but he has shown when he went from Alabama, transferred to the Hogs this year, a lot of hype. And I do know a few people down here in the Dallas, Texas area. Alex, for those of you that don't know, she grew up in Denton, had a few friends, was able to scout him out a little bit more. Sounds like he's a really good dude. He's a leader. Last season, 103 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. The hype's going to continue to grow around Sanders. I don't know if he falls to round 2, but when I saw him on the board here, I was really jumping for joy. Now, before I get into some more picks here on the mock draft, today's show, jumping for joy because it's presented by AG1, and I want you guys to build a better foundation to be healthier going forward. The Raiders Report sponsored by Athletic Greens. I take AG1 by Athletic Greens literally every day. Get comprehensive, convenient daily nutrition at athleticgreens.com/chatsports. I gave AG1 a try because I wanted the immune system support and wanted the supplement that tastes great. I take AG1 in the morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on my day. My grandma always said the early bird gets the worm, and AG1 inspires and motivates me to get as many worms as possible. AG1 really helps me with getting my day started. Getting out of bed, especially after a long weekend, it can be difficult. I'm a person who likes and needs a routine. AG1 helps me stick to my healthy routine, wake up early, take my AG1, take Chuck for a little walk, then hit the gym before work. Covering my nutritional basis for the daily literally couldn't be easier, which is why I trust Athletic Greens. I just mix one small scoop of AG1 with water and drink it first thing each morning. Done. Simple. I also like it because it costs only less than $3 a day. It's pretty good if you ask me. It's a really effective daily habit with the highest quality sourced ingredients. It's a win-win. If a comprehensive solution is what you need from your supplement routine, then Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. So, y'all, go to athleticgreens.com/chatsports. That's athleticgreens.com/chatsports. Check it out. It's going to be in the comments, and it's going to be in the description of today's video. If you want to succeed in 2023, get your AG1 going right now. Let's go to round 3, pick number 70 overall. This guy I actually took in my last mock. I was able to get him in round 4. I did not think that he was going to slide to me, though, at 109 overall. To me, the Raiders' biggest need on the defensive side of the football, defensive tackle. Yes, I know that Mazi Smith has got some issues, but you know what? I'm hoping that this young man here can get it together, and that's why I took him. He is massive. He is naturally well leveraged, and a lot of times when I look for in my defensive tackles, I want a guy that has that low center of gravity. He was one of the top freaks on Feldman's freaks list this summer, showed up. He can absorb double teams, which that just means maybe more potential to get after the quarterback. That also potentially helps out a guy like Chandler Jones coming off a massive injury, a dude like Max Crosby. I believe at 6'3", basically 340 pounds, Mazi Smith is one of the more interesting defensive tackle prospects. A lot of people have their eyes set, on Jalen Carter and some of the other top guys. If Mazi didn't have some of the background stuff, he could be a round 2 type of dude. Let's go to round 4 now. Pick 1/9 overall, and this is when the comp picks start to get a rolling here. I'm going to go, I went to defense, I went offense. Remember, I said if you're going to take Stroud, I do think that you need to upgrade the offensive line. I hope that the Raiders are able to bring back Jermaine Illuminor, but what happens if you don't have anybody on the right side? Let's go with Wanya Morris, offensive tackle from Oklahoma. He played in 9 games last season for the Sooners, started 8 at right tackle. His upside, massive. No doubt, though, he's a project. From what I have seen from Carmen Brasillo and what he was able to do with the Raiders' offensive line this past season, I'm going to put my faith in him. He's a physical dude. If you were to be in a phone booth with Morris, you're going to lose that fight. And it shows up on tape. Could he be better in pass protection? No doubt. Is he a better run blocker? Yes, he is. But at 6'6", 305 pounds, I believe when you look at the upside, I put my faith in Raiders offensive line coach Carmen Brasillo, guy who was second team all Big 12 selection, was able to get him in round 4. Now, I'm always trying to make this show better, and I do always say the show is about the nation. I want to see what you guys have to say, so be real with me. How likely are you to recommend this show to a Raider fan? If you're like 8, 9, 10, hey, send a link, youtube.com/RaidersReport, send it to some people. If it's anything lower than that, and this is the part where I'm serious, family is honest with each other. If you are a low number, tell me what I could do to make it better, because I really, really want to try to make this show everything it could potentially be. So please let me know. Scale it 1 to 10. So right now, here are my top 4 picks in my Raiders mock draft, which now means I am moving to round 5 with the comp picks. Raiders have 3 of those, and I'm going to go with another player out of Michigan. I'm going to go cornerback DJ Turner, right? 2 DJ Turners on the Raiders. Another dude on Feldman's freak list. This guy's got crazy athleticism, and he really might be one of the top 5 fastest players at the combine. He's going to run under a 4.340. Apparently this offseason, he ran a 4.28. That's impressive. A 6.293 cone drill for a corner is insane. I do think personally he's probably built more to be an inside corner, a little bit more of a slot. Impressive quarterback rating when targeting of 65.5 last season for the Wolverines. 6 foot, 180 pounds. That's generous. Like, I think he's probably going to line up more like 5'10", maybe 170, 175. But you can see it. It's on tape. He has that just raw, unbelievable athleticism. He is the fastest guy on the field. And if you can add more athletes like that, I do think that helps your team overall. Let's go to the 146 pick now in my Raiders mock draft. Like I said, I got 5 picks here, or 3 picks in round 5. Dyslexic Mitch showing up again. Let's go with an edge rusher. I'm going to go with a guy from Florida. He's kind of like an edge/linebacker. Jeremy loves his last name, Brenton Cox Jr. He could play 4-3 and 3-4 defense. He's the type of dude he can put his hand in the dirt and he can stand up. I do think he's a little bit undersized to be an edge, and he's kind of a little bit too big to play linebacker. His first step, though, his burst, his acceleration, it's legit. Like, I'm almost curious if he should be a NASCAR driver, because when that light turns green, he's going. I'm not saying he's fast, because honestly, when I watch tape, he's not that fast. It's the reaction. Also, he can drop into coverage, which is definitely going to be a plus for somebody who is 6'3", 250 pounds. I am curious to see how this guy would fit in a Patrick Graham system. One of my favorite players that I always look at in free agency is Kyle Van Noy. I'm not sitting up here saying Cox is a Kyle Van Noy type of player, but if you let him develop, Kyle Van Noy isn't a freak athlete, and neither is Brent Cox. They're just good football players. So to get him in round 5 here, I was pretty excited about it. And then your final pick in round 5 at 174 overall. The theme for me was, I know that the Raiders, if I'm taking a quarterback at 7, I wanted to get an offensive lineman early, but then it was defense, and I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit more defense here. I'm going to go with another guy, safety from Alabama, DeMarco Helms. And I believe he honestly, I'm going to say this, and some of y'all are going to be like, well, why the hell are we taking him? He reminds me of Jonathan Abram. But if you're able to get a Jonathan Abram type of player in round 5, I think that's worth the risk. And he can be an effective blitzer. You got to put him in the box, giggity. And if you try to drop him back into coverage, he's going to struggle, especially if it's zone. If you put him in man, that's where he is a little bit more effective. But to me, his tenacity, he's a good tackler. He likes to hit people. And I like Isaiah Palmeo. He showed a lot of good heart last season. But to me, this guy, no matter what's going to be a good special teams player. 95 tackles last season with the Crimson Tide. 1 interception, 7 pass breakups. Anybody that's coming from Alabama, you know that they at least have the tools to be a good player. Do they put it together? That's the next question, at least usually the next question when you enter the draft, right? All right, so here we go. All the round 5 picks, which now means we got 4 more to go. 2 in round 6, 2 in round 7. This is the part of the draft that I look for upside. I look for players that are going to be projects but could potentially have a good fit, or if there's some sort of continuity in terms of coaching. So in round 6, 204, this is actually probably one of the best value picks that I was able to get here. I got Byron Young, edge rusher out of Tennessee. Stout build. I like guys who's got that lower body. He's got a good core, powerful limbs, and he's just not afraid to be kind of a psychopath when he's going after the quarterback. I do think that he has a potential to be a 3-down player. Again, still got to build a little bit. He could play edge. He could play defensive tackle. The thing that I really loved about him that showed up on tape, though, because, again, he doesn't have the edge, or he doesn't have the bend to be an edge, but he could line up his DT, his motor. It's Max Crosby-like motor, where he just doesn't give up. He's just flying all over the football field, constantly going, and the fact that the Raiders last season took his teammate, Matthew Butler, there was a little bit of continuity there. 6'3", 245 pounds, 37 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, 7 sacks last season with the Volunteers. Still got 3 more picks to go, but if you're excited for the 2023 NFL Draft, hit that like button. Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're going to be live for the entire thing, so hopefully y'all join us, and hopefully the Raiders start nailing some picks. It's weird. Hit the like button. Let's go to round 6 picks, 215 now up here on the board. And I'm going to go with a cornerback out of Iowa, Riley Moss. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Riley Moss might look like a knockoff version of Steve Nash, but this guy can ball, and that's really the only way I can put it. He makes plays on tape. Graham also coached him at the Senior Bowl. He is a freak athlete, and I know. Jeremy's like, you took Riley Moss. I'm like, he's a really good athlete. He does give up a little bit of cushion. He plays back a little bit. His awareness needs to be better on the football field. But when I think of the combination of Patrick Graham coaching him, he is a good player. He will be a good special teams guy. He might, though, find his way on some NFL rosters because he is a really, really good athlete. Shout out to Riley Moss. Let's go to round 7, pick 222 here. And I'm going to go with Braden Daniels, the offensive lineman from Utah. His footwork, I like it. His technique, it's good. I know I said before I look for freak athletes. This isn't what Daniels is. He already has a lot of the technique down, and it's probably because he can play, I actually think, almost any position on the offensive line minus center. His hand placement is right there. Is a good pass protector. When you talk about versatility this late in the draft, I mean, I know one of the reasons why they liked Thayer Munford and they took him was because of his versatility. Braden Daniels played left tackle, he played right guard, and he played left guard at Utah. Let's go to the final pick here in my mock draft at 233. My Mr. Irrelevant, if you will. This is a dude that I actually don't think falls to round 7. I actually don't even know if he falls to round 6, and I like him a lot. He is my sleeper. Let's go with Carl Brooks, the defensive tackle at a Bowling Green. This dude was probably one of the biggest winners from the Senior Bowl, and I like the fact that he works off blockers well. He's not that freak athlete. He's not. But when he comes in contact with an offensive lineman, he's really good at shedding that guy. His legit lower body size, definitely a plus. And he hustles his butt off. Another dude that's got the motor. He's not going to be coming from a big-time school. Bowling Green, I'm sorry. It's not that big of a school. But 49 tackles, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He shows up on tape. And the fact that he also played well at the Senior Bowl, my hat's off to him. Would love to get this young man here in silver and black. So where we go, my Raiders mock draft, C.J. Stroud at number 7. Drew Sanders in round 2. Mazi Smith round 3. Wanya Morris in round 4. D.J. Turner, round 5 out of Michigan. Brent Cox Jr. They got DeMarco Helms, Byron Young. Riley Moss, Braden Daniels, Carl Brooks. If you made it this far in the show, I want your feedback. When I do these mock drafts, that's what I want. I want us to be able to have a good conversation because that's what family does. So grade my Raiders mock draft A, B, C, D, or F.